Welcome everyone to Nikki Loves Books. Nikki here. And I was originally planning to wait for my hair to dry and do some video recordings of past boxes, but the book gods have blessed me and I actually got our latest OwlCrate Young Adult box. So this is the OwlCrate Young Adult box for January 2026. I'm sure all of you guys know this by now, but there is a QR code on the inside of this box, and that takes you to like the pamphlet for this box. So it tells you about the items in the box, who created it, what was the inspiration, so on and so forth. But I did that. I scanned the QR code, and the digital pamphlet is not up yet for this month. So I don't have access to anything about these items in this box. So we're going to still unbox it, and you guys are going to just hear my critique and information about these items. I don't have the cute little blurbs that OwlCrate has for their items. I love their pamphleting because they're so eloquent about describing the items that are in their boxes, and we just don't have access to that today. So I am very sorry, but at the very least, I can show you the items and, of course, the book. So let's get into it. I can tell you what the theme is. So the theme for our January 2026 Young Adult OwlCrate box is So This Is Love. So I don't normally pay attention to the themes of the month until I get the box. I am very excited about this theme because there's a key word here, love. I am a huge, huge fan of romance stories. The fact that this theme is So This Is Love, I'm hoping that I will at the very least enjoy the books, if not also the items. So the first item we have in our first OwlCrate Young Adult box for the year is a bookmark. So it says Sorcery of Thorns wooden bookmark. Elevate your reading experience with this beautiful wooden bookmark inspired by Sorcery of Thorns, made with love by lichen and limestone. And it says, she wasn't a wielder of chains, she was a breaker of them. She was the library's will made flesh. And here is that very exquisite, highly detailed wooden bookmark. I do love it. I do like having different types of bookmarks. I have a whole collection, especially since I've been an OwlCrate subscriber for years. Like, I think I might have started with them in their first or second year that they ever existed. So I have a lot of bookmarks from over my time with them. I really love when they do wooden and or metal bookmarks. And just like they said, it's kind of an elevated experience versus just the paper ones. Not saying that there aren't really, really pretty paper bookmarks. Those can still definitely be a good thing. It's just nice to get something different. And I really love the details on this. Very well made. And I actually read A Sorcery of Thorns and really liked it. So Sorcery of Thorns, it is a standalone, but I do believe there's like novella, so it's not book 2, it's book like 1.5. So Sorcery of Thorns, really enjoyed, and I think I actually have it listed as a book that I want to reread eventually when I get to it, so then I can also read the next book, which again, novella, book 1.5, which is called Mysteries of Thorn Manor. I do believe Sorcery of Thorns was an OwlCrate book back in the day. So I think that's where I came across it. And if you've also read Sorcery of Thorns, let me know in the comments below your thoughts on that book. I really enjoyed it, especially with the library books element, of course, being a reader. Our next item is a kitchen item. I'm so excited. I love when they do kitchen items simply because it's a nice way to include bookish inspired items in my kitchen. So when I'm cooking, I can cook in style and have my love for reading showcase there too. Here's our item. It is a measuring spoon set. There we go. Oh my God, I could not think of it, but it's measuring spoon set, of course, with it being tablespoons and then teaspoons. So we have tablespoon. It looks like there's a tiger on this. Teaspoon, which has cherry blossoms. Half a teaspoon has a crane. And then this is possibly Mount Fuji. I could be wrong. Don't quote me on that. Don't call me stupid, but I think it might be Mount Fuji, but I could be entirely wrong. So I did check OwlCrate's original posting about their January Young Adult box, where it does list inspirations for the items in their box. And one of the books listed is Six Crimson Cranes. So that is the book that I think inspired this wonderful item. So I'm super excited to use this simply because, like I said, I like being able to have pretty items in my kitchen. Like, why do I need a pretty measuring spoon set? Because I like it. I guess that's why. So I love this. I love when they do kitchen items. So That is the measuring spoon set. And just know that I'm going to assume that these are hand wash only, especially when you see that it's a piece of fabric string that holds them together. So I would probably hand wash these. And I have not actually read Six Crimson Cranes yet, but it is on my TBR, so my to be read list, and it's on my bookshelves somewhere. So I do own it. I do plan on reading it. I just have a lot of books to read and I just haven't been able to get to all of them, but I will get there one day. So Six Crimson Cranes is on my TBR. If you've read it before, please let me know in the comments below your thoughts on that book. Next up is another favorite item that I love getting from OwlCrate. They've done a few different designs of this. It's kind of a staple for them, and I have no complaints. I'm like, the more the merrier. You know, obviously there's a point where it's too much. Like, I don't want one in every single box, but I think doing one of these items 2 to 3 times a year is totally okay. And that is socks. So we have design socks. These ones are very pretty. It has a lot of yellow flowers in it. I love designer socks. Like, not like designer, like brand designer. I like design socks. The socks with designs. And of course, with my love for reading, I'm going to want socks inspired by books. So it says, step into the world of a treachery of swans with these beautiful and cozy socks inspired by the book. I have never even heard of a treachery of swans. I'm not familiar with that book at all. If any of you guys know about it or have read it, please let me know because I am intrigued. So I looked up A Treachery of Swans on Goodreads. It has a 3.76 out of 5 stars, so not the best rating, you know, but it's only by 5,000 people. Not a hugely well-known book, maybe. I don't know. So it does say that it is a retelling of Swan Lake. I do really enjoy retellings. So if you've read A Treachery of Swans, let me know your opinion about whether you think I should pick it up or not, because I do really enjoy retellings. It is an LGBTQ book. It is young adult, all good things. But regardless of the book and whether I read it or not, I do really like these socks. I think they are great. They have obviously the black swans and then the white ones. I will definitely be rocking these as long as the cold weather maintains. I know the hot weather's coming. Next up, we have this Corduroy tote bag, and it says, I want to be with you forever and beyond. So it is kind of like a muted blue color, and it only just has that design. There's nothing else to it. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not a fan of corduroy. Definitely don't like the fabric. This is a really small tote bag, which is not necessarily a bad thing. Sometimes you need small bags, but small bag, it's not going to even fit some of my larger books, and don't like the material. So yeah, this is not going to be something that I keep. And it says that it's inspired by Ella Enchanted and designed with love by Hate Atlas Creative. Let this beautiful tote bag inspired by Ella Enchanted sweep you away into a world of fantasy and magic, perfect for carrying books, accessories, and other necessities for your journey. The other problem that I have with it is this is the only design. Was there a lot of effort put into this? No, like, it's not even very big. It's just a plain bag with a small little stitching of a design on it. I don't think it's anything terribly special. It is definitely useful. Of course, bags are always useful, but I definitely am not a fan and I will not be keeping this for myself. I'm going to put it aside for a giveaway in the future. And as far as Ella Enchanted, I've never read it, which is surprising because it's a very popular book, but it's just not one that I came across when I was younger, and I'm not sure if it would hit the same now that I'm older. I'm unsure of whether it makes sense for me to ever read Ella Enchanted because I am no longer the age of the target audience. If you've read Ella Enchanted, especially as an adult, please let me know and let me know your thoughts on it. I have been curious about that book and I've always wondered whether I should read it. All right, so we do, of course, have our last item for our box, and dun dun dun, it is a pin. Go figure. So it says Blades of Love, Blade 1 of 5 for January 2026. Interesting. So it says on their original announcement for the OwlCrate Young Adult January 2026. So this is Love Box. January will feature the first of 5 pins in our new Blades of Love pin collection. Each of the 5 pins will be inspired by a different romantasy fandom, and in the end will come together to form a circle. The first pin is inspired by Quicksilver, designed by Hey Atlas Creative. We're super proud of this unique new collection. That is definitely interesting. That is a new spin, literally, because it forms a circle. It's a new spin on the pins. So let's take a look. Okay, now I think this is stupid for me to get excited about to look at it because I should have known from the picture. I thought these were going to be pins that were smaller and would actually link up to form a circle because it literally says, they'll come together to form a circle, but they're just big pins that, I guess you could put them together in a circle. That's stupid as fuck. Anyways, this is inspired by the book Quicksilver. I do like the design, but again, I think it was stupid that they were like, "Oh, we're super proud of this unique new collection," because I thought it was gonna like make a bigger pin altogether. And if that's the case, like maybe that is still gonna be what's happening, but I don't think so from the picture. I thought they were gonna be smaller pins to then make a actual like normal size pin because I'm like, this is a big pin. Like, I'm not gonna lie, this is a really big pin. So even if they do actually clip in and form a circle together, it's gonna be really uncomfortably large. It's gonna be really heavy too. So I don't think they should be super proud of this unique new collection because it doesn't seem like there's anything unique about this. It's just pins in a certain shape that they're like, oh, you can put them in a circle. Okay, why is that something to be proud of? I just think it's weird. Anyway, I think what they could have said and said that is really cool is that they could have been like, what's a sword and shield design, pins for this year? That is something that they could have gone with and it would have seemed cool and different, but just being like, they go in a circle. Cool. I can take any of my pins and put them in a circle. Whoop de doo. Anyways, do like the design. I think it's cool. I have not, surprisingly, I have not read Quicksilver. I've heard great things. I really want to read it, but I am holding out for a special edition. Like, I am just keeping my fingers crossed. Like, it's got to happen with how popular it is. One of our book boxes has to do it. So I'm holding out, and hopefully I will get a special edition of Quicksilver one of these days. So obviously we have our main event coming up. We have the book. And a little sneak peek about the book is our first YA, so our first young adult pick of the year is lush and romantic with a competition and a hidden deal. The prince is not looking forward to the possible grim ending of what should be a beautiful beginning. He then comes across a girl who offers her power to wring out the truth from people within the tournament for his new bride in exchange for safekeeping. They make a deal together to survive this tournament and possibly find solace in each other. Interesting, but before we get there, we're going to talk about the items. So, items, we have, of course, the tote bag, Corduroy tote bag. We had the pin, which I was excited for a minute because I thought it was going to be something cool. Ended up being a dud. We also have our socks. We have our measuring spoons and our wooden bookmark. So my preference, my two favorites, couldn't really figure out a favorite exactly between the two, but it was the socks and the measuring spoon. So let me know in the comments below your thoughts on these items, and was there one that stood out more to you than others? Was there ones that you were like, nah, disappointed? And let's go ahead and reveal our book. So our book so this is Love Young Adult OwlCrate box is The Swan's Daughter by Rashani Chokshi. So before we get into all the beautiful things about our special edition, we're going to read the inside flap because I need to know what's happening. Prince Arius knows that marriage means murder. Thanks to a poorly worded wish to a sea witch, all one needs to rule the Isles of Malaise is the heart and hand of the kingdom's heir. Historically, this has been construed quite literally. Thus, Eris expects that the day after his marriage and murder, he will wake up as a sentient tree alongside the rest of his predecessors. His only chance at a long life is finding true and lasting love. When Arius's parents announce a tournament of brides to compete for his hand and heart, a slew of eligible, lovely, and possibly murderous bachelorettes make their way to Wraith Castle, amidst glittering balls and caves, strolls through menageries of daydream trees and pearl crocodiles. tea time on glass boats, and kisses that leave his head spinning, Arius cannot tell who is here out of love for him or lust for power, until he meets Demelza. As a veritas swan, Demelza's song rings out the truth. Forced into hiding, Demelza strikes a deal. Eris will provide her with safekeeping in exchange for her truth-telling song to sort through his potential brides. While Arius is used to dodging death threats, and Demelza is accustomed to fighting for her voice to be heard, to survive the tournament of brides requires a different kind of bravery. And perhaps the bravest thing one can do is not merely protect one's life, but find the courage to chase a life worth living. This actually sounds really cute, maybe inspired by Swan Lake, especially with our beautiful cover showing her, and she has a swan form in her reflection. So she might have an issue that she might turn into a swan, hopefully by her own choosing, but it could be like, the at nighttime or daytimes she's forced back into being a swan. So the swan's daughter, and we have this beautiful exclusive redesigned dust jacket. Really love the blue and that silver gilding. It looks stunning. Really wonderful artist work. And it says on the back side, use your wits, find a way to live, and above all, guard your heart. We do also have a true reversible dust jacket with beautiful artwork. So this side is obviously showcasing the swans. And it says, my darlings, my dears, my sweet little fears, together the world will be ours. And I do appreciate that this is a true reverse dust jacket, meaning that you can actually flip it over and it still has the title and author of the book so that you can know what book is on your bookshelf. Between the two, though, this one is my favorite. I do really appreciate the artwork on this side, so I will be keeping my book with this foiled side. We do have a beautiful printed hardcover case. We have that tree on the back. And it says on the front, how cruel a trap was love. We, of course, have illustrated end papers, beautifully foiled stenciled edges. I love the foiling on this. It does such a beautiful job. We have an author letter inside, as well as a foiled printed signature by the author. We, of course, have a matching ribbon bookmark to just elevate this whole reading experience. And we have bonus content inside as well. So this book definitely seems more of like a young adult romantasy, possibly a retelling. Of course, I don't know if it's actually inspired by Swan Lake, but I'm having a little feeling that it might be somewhat influenced. So this could also be like a retelling-ish. Regardless, because it is a romantasy, which will obviously be clean because it's a young adult, I do feel like I will enjoy this book quite a bit. Looking forward to reading it. When will I get to it again? Still haven't decided the book order I'm going to be reading in, since I am very far behind. I don't know if I'm going to work myself like from now backwards, or if I'm going to start reading from where I left off and work myself forward chronologically. So still up in the air. I have a minute to decide because I'm not quite finished with White Horse Black Knights. Getting close to the end, so I kind of expect that I'm going to have to make a decision by the end of this week, if not before the weekend. So that's it, everyone. Thank you for joining me. If you like this unboxing, please give me a like down below. And apologies that I could not read the descriptions that OwlCrate had for these items. It was probably going to be a lot more flowery and eloquent than me telling you about the items. But like I said, I didn't have access to the digital pamphlet about this box because the website doesn't have it up yet. I'm happy we got to unbox this together. Please leave me a comment below and I will get back to you guys as soon as possible. I would love to hear your thoughts on these items and the book choice. If you're excited for this book, or if you're like, you know what, I'm not feeling this. This is hardcore romantics and that's just not my thing. Totally okay. I love hearing you guys' opinions, even if it differs from my own. We're all allowed to have different opinions and still be cool with each other. And be sure to subscribe because we have a lot more unboxings to get to. Hopefully you guys will see me really soon next week with more unboxings, probably past ones, but if I have any new book boxes come in the mail, you guys will definitely see me that same day. Thanks so much, everyone.